So, in this episode of Candid with Kim, sitting here waiting, setting up, doing my business. And this is not something that I hadn't thought about. It's something that's actually been on my mind. And I was going to do a post, but this is one of those times where you really have to video because if you don't say it all, people can take it a certain way. No matter how you look at it, whatever we sow, that's what we're going to reap. Some people, the worldly people, like to call it karma. And even people that are in the church have now started using the word karma. Anytime I'm talking to a fellow believer and they start speaking karma, I go back and remind them of Galatians 5 and 6. Be not deceived, God is not mocked. Whatever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. I do it because I just feel like, yes, sometimes the culture will catch up with church, but why you gonna follow behind them? Stop doing that. That makes me so mad. But anywho, so if you're a believer, say it how it is. Say reaping what you sow. Speak the truth, whether people receive it or not. If karma is how they understand it, fine, but that doesn't mean you have to go down to that level. Anywho, often when we go through things, we don't realize that we are reaping what we have sown. Sometimes we look at it and we think, oh my gosh, people are not here. They don't care. But you got to go back and look at, sometimes you need to look at what you've done, the kind of friend you've been. I know people, I've had people around in my life where I've tried everything I could. I've said it to them because now, one thing that's consistent, and one of my friends, Michelle, that's my girl, she would tell me straight up, and I know that's why I love her, because she is so much like me. Now, she's probably softer with it, but I'm blunt, and sometimes I'm blunt because I don't know. I just think you should tell people. I think you should be able to be honest. And if I'm close to you, I'm not going to sugarcoat or lie to you. I think that's one of the worst things you can do. I remember I was going through something one time in my life, and I knew that I was missing something. I really did. Now, to be honest, if I was the person on the outside or the people on the outside, it seemed like, Kim, that's a no-brainer. Just shut your mouth. But I had such passion about my beliefs. I had so many things that I stood by, like, I didn't understand the real idea of keeping it real, that I didn't have to be a fool and I didn't have to do stupid stuff to keep it real. And I didn't understand the balance of, being true to who I am, at the same token doing the things that I had to do. I mean, as a black woman out here in America, I'm just being honest. Whether it was being treated, different because I was a woman, or being treated but different because I was a black woman, just so many things that I was dealing with at one time. So I called 3 people to my side, 3 of them that I said, okay, these people know me. They say they're my friends. I know that we have, and my definition of friends, if we cannot fuss, fall out, disagree, and then come back together, we're not real friends. Because if we can only be friends as long as everything is going good and we agree, that's not really a friendship. That's just somebody you hanging out with, and it's a bomb that's getting ready to explode. But anywho, so I called these 3 people, and I said, okay, guys, give it to me straight. I had lost another job. My marriage was going through and I'm sure when my husband looked at it back then, he probably thought, Kim, this is a no-brainer. You go to work and you keep your mouth shut. But I'm telling you, within my mind at that time, and what I was fighting and all the things that I was thinking about and wanting to make a difference, but not exactly knowing what the difference looked like, and making sure I didn't sacrifice my family, I was making some very stupid decisions. I was talking at the wrong time, and then once I get going, it's like, oh, you don't want to be punked, and it was stupid, and it was so immature. You know how the Bible says, when I was a child, I spoke as a child, I behaved as a child. Well, honey, I was a full-grown woman acting like a kid. So anywho, I brought these people around me, and 2 of them spoke up. They started telling me, well, Kim, you should do this. and you need to do this and you need to do that. And I totally respected that. I mean, in that moment, seeing them tell me, I was like, dang, you know. But I had one who wouldn't say a word. I was like, no, people just don't get you or whatever. Now this person had been in my life for years and been in my corner and always told me how smart I was, and sometimes I would give them good advice and they would use it, quote it. People thought it was really coming from them, and they would say, I didn't say who it was, because sometimes people don't want to know who it is or whatever. But that was their way of taking credit for my stuff. In the meantime, never being honest with me. Now I'm watching this person have long-term success on one job, benefits,